Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I want to show you how you can use Google Docs to learn English. Yes, I'm talking about learning English and not correcting mistakes because I'm sure you already know that. Whenever you're writing something on a Google document and there's a mistake, the document itself underlines the mistake. So all you have to do is just click on it and correct the mistake. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. I want to show you how you can use this feature of Google Documents to actually learn the language. Keep in mind that this is going to take you some time. When you correct a mistake using a Google document, it's super quick. You just click on it and the mistake is gone. But this is going to be a little bit different. There are some steps that you have to follow, but I think it's totally worth it because you're actually learning something, not just correcting a mistake, and I think that's the point, right? Let me give you a summary of what you're going to see in this video. So, as I already said before, I'm going to show you how you can use Google Docs to learn English. And I'm going to present this information in 4 steps. Step number 1 is to write your sentence and let the Google document underline the mistake. Step number 2 is to click on the underline section to see what the document suggests. Step number 3 is to try to see if you already know the rule but you forgot. And step number 4 is to actually find the rule. And to do this, you can do several things. You can use online dictionaries. I'm going to show you how in a minute. You can check what Google Translate says, but carefully because it can trick you. And finally, you can Google the question. Let me show you each step in detail. Step number 1. Writing a sentence on the Google Doc and letting the document underline the mistake. I'm going to use a very simple sentence here just to illustrate my point. Please avoid the temptation of clicking on the mistake and just choosing the correction because that's not what's going to help you learn. Click on the underline section and see what the Google document suggests. In this case, are very. Ask yourself, do I understand why this is the correct way of saying this? Do I know the rule? If you do, this just works as a reminder of the rule. It shows that you know it, but you forgot it. Be aware of it next time. But if you don't know the rule, it's time to find out. And that leads us to step number 2. Please don't be afraid of using dictionaries. Many people think that dictionaries are obsolete, and the first thing that comes to their minds when they think of dictionaries are these thick old books with long and boring meanings. But no, I'm talking about online dictionaries, and they are super useful. You can get a lot of information from them, not just the definition of words. So let's see what you can do. I want you to remember something. There are very good dictionaries online, and they give us so much more than just a definition. They give us information about the grammar of a word, the patterns, the collocations, and also context, because that's what examples do. They give us context. To know a word, you don't only need to know the meaning. You need to know how to use the word in a sentence. And that's information that you can find in a dictionary. The dictionaries I like using are Longman Dictionary Online and Macmillan. Longman usually has grammar explanations in grammar boxes, like in this case. Not all entries have a grammar box, but many of them do, and they're very useful. They also offer, some entries have collocations and adjectives you can use with the word, phrases. And Macmillan has great examples. You can learn a lot from the examples. Here we have a few, and this one also has like a collocation section sometimes. Again, not all the entries do, but some of them do, and grammar explanations as well. See, dictionaries are not only about definitions. Let's go back to this simple mistake so I can show you the process. People is very friendly here. You can see that the Google document underlines is very and that it suggests are very. And I want to know why. So go to the dictionary and look up the word people. I've done this already. I don't need to know the meaning, of course. I want to know why is wrong. So the first thing that you will see are definitions and examples. Read the examples to see if you find people is or people are. Please take tenses into account. Remember that in the past is becomes was and are becomes were. See if there are examples of people was or people were. If you see examples with people was, it means that people is correct. If you see examples with people were, that means that people are is correct. Let me see here. People were. People were. So remember how before I mentioned that some dictionaries have some entries, have grammar explanations. So I always suggest scrolling down to see if you have a grammar box, and voila, here we have one. People is followed by a plural verb. The American people are proud of their democracy. Don't say the American people is proud of its democracy. This is a perfect case scenario because you have, let's say, official information. The dictionary is giving you the rule very clearly. If you come across something like this, that means that your search is over. The rule is here, the dictionary is telling you this, so stop searching for other explanations. Something else you can do is asking Google. For example, you can say, people is or people are? Chances are that question has been asked before and that you will find the answer quickly. For example, here we get this answer. People is the plural of person. As it is treated as a plural noun, it takes the plural of the verb to be, are, were, and the plural of any other type verb. However, be careful with the sources from which you read the information. If you read it from a forum, there is no guarantee that the information is correct. If you read it from a respectable website, for example, anything that comes from the British Council, Cambridge, or Oxford, you can be certain that the information is correct. Here, I made another search. I changed the question a little bit. Is people followed by a singular or a plural verb? And I found this website, Person Longman, which is a very respectable website. And here it says that because it is a plural count noun, it takes a plural verb. So this is reliable information. Always make sure that you use reliable sources. Let's talk about Google Translate for a minute. Is it good or not? Should you use it or not? Well, it depends. Here we are talking about learning English and being able to identify and correct mistakes yourself because you know the rules. So you can use Google Translate to see if your sentence is correct or not. That's what many people do, right? But you have to take this with a pinch of salt because what the translator does is to provide you with an accurate translation, well, as accurate as it can. So maybe the original the sentence that you wrote in English has a mistake, but the translation in Spanish is correct. Because Google Translate ignores that mistake or corrects it in the translation because its job is to do that, to provide you with a translation. So it's not as reliable when it comes to learning English. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use it, but just be careful. So what happens if we translate this using Google Translate? Google Translate is very polite and many times it won't tell you you've made a mistake. It will simply correct it. You can write a sentence that is grammatically incorrect and Google will give you a correct translation with no mistakes. So it can make you believe that the sentence in English was correct when in fact it wasn't. Why does it do that? Because it is a translator, not a teacher, and its function is to provide you with a translation, not a correction. It understands what you want to say, ignores the mistake, and gives you the correct translation. So you can just do this and see that it corrected the mistake here. So you can use it, but be careful. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should never use Google Translate. It's a very good tool. I won't deny it. But translations are not always correct and we users are part of the problem. But that's the topic for another video. We'll see why and how to avoid this in another video. Step number 3, checking the rule. If you found the rule in a respectable source like a dictionary or a trustworthy website, then there's no need to double check the rule. However, sometimes it isn't so easy to come up with a rule, and you may find it in a blog, for example, or a forum. What can you do to check that the rule is okay? What you can do is use inverted commas or quotation marks to do a Google search and see where you find this collocation. Here again, you have to be very careful and always make sure that you focus on trustworthy websites because you can. This is a very simple mistake, and I don't think that you will find people is anywhere. But with other kinds of mistakes, then you may come across them. You may come across the mistake being used in many websites, but use your critical eye to differentiate between serious websites from the ones that are not. In order to learn, you have to do, right? So here, I show you these 7 other sentences that contain simple mistakes so that you can put all these 3 steps into practice and find the mistakes yourself. So take a screenshot and practice following these tips. I truly hope that you can put this into practice and with time see how much you can learn because there are many things that you can do by yourself. You don't need a teacher with you 24/7, right? An avalanche, did you hear that? Oh, that was amazing. That was it for today. I hope you found this video useful and see you next time. Bye!